Welcome back to Truth Quest. My name is Aaron Moriarity. I will be your host, and we're going on a quest for truth together. Hello, friends. Welcome. Here we are. It's the 21st already. Can you believe it? 21st of September on a Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Yes. And tomorrow's Thursday, I heard. Now, I can't verify that. We'll have to wait and see. There we go. Well, hello, Catherine Weiss. First one to the program. Hello there. Welcome to the program. And who's this guy? Truth Quest with Aaron Moriarity. Who's that? I've never heard of him before. Who knows? Who knows who that guy is? Never know. There we go, friends. Well, I hope you're all doing very well today. We're going to get through some things here for you. I hope that you like what you see. I have to also just say thank you to my friend Thinker, Johnny, for calling in the other day. We spoke on the phone after the show, and we have a show coming up soon with him, so you're going to love it. You are going to love it. And so, yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. I'm also setting something else up that you guys are going to like. I don't want to say anything about it yet, but something is in the works, as it were. In the works, yes. Hello, Peggy Dancer. Welcome to the program. Here's a good, it's always good to compare things, you know? How things are now, how things they used to be. Things how they used to be, things how they are now. The truth doesn't mind being questioned. It's lies that don't like being challenged. Yeah, he walks away. You can never ask the guy a question. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? Hello, Peggy Dancer. Welcome to the program. Yeah, it's so different. You know, it really, really does make a difference who is at the helm. You know, maybe someday we'll get to the point where we don't need leaders and we can just, well, maybe that day will never come. I don't know, but maybe. But when you get stuck with a bad one, it's not good. Not good. And there's some awfully dangerous saber rattling going on. And Putin says it's not a bluff. So there's some really, really dangerous things happening, folks. And we have to pray and hope that doesn't happen. Because these evil people would love to drop one of these horrible, man-made monstrosities. And that would be a very, very sad day for humanity again. And it would take generations to get over again. But this is what they want. They want the Hunger Games. They want the Hunger Games, but they want it in every main street of every town. It's not going to happen. We're not going to let it happen. They're trying so hard, and look how hard it is. They're finding a lot of resistance. The people don't want it. It's all stuff that people don't want. They're pushing now. Whereas when Trump was there, it was like everything the people wanted. He was, and you know what else Trump did? And he revealed this. I'm sure if you ever follow him or watched him in his things, he talked about when he first campaigned. He never campaigned for anything before. And he went around the country and he kept getting these questions. Sir, if you get to be president, can you do something about, you know, my husband, my father, my grandfather, or whoever who died over in North Korea? Could you work on getting their remains back. He's like, well, I really don't think that we'd have much of a rapport with them, but I'll certainly try if I get there. When he got there and he was going to meet with, or setting up a meeting with Kim Jong-un, he remembered that and thought, hey, wait a minute. Okay, if this, and this, we'll meet, and also we want to get the remains. And he did. They sent, several plane trips to the U.S. with the remains of the soldiers that were American soldiers that were there. So that's something, I don't think anybody talks about that. Hello, Mud Rabbit. Welcome to the program. So yeah, I thought that was great that he did that. That's a true leader. When you hear something from the people, and he heard it over and over, it wasn't like he just heard it once. He heard it from numerous people. And, this is the kind of guy he is. When he makes a promise, okay, I'll see if I can, honestly, I can't promise you much, but maybe we'll see. And he did. He came through. Wow. I'm sure those families, they finally had closure. Returning those remains was a really, really, really amazing thing. It turns out John McCain was always the one appointed because he was a war criminal or war prisoner in charge of all the POW stuff. And there were still people alive. People were trying to get their loved ones back, and he stood in the way. McCain stood in the way every single time, wouldn't let anything happen. That's what he was. He was a gatekeeper. You remember that too, Mud Rabbit? Yes. And there's Catherine Weiss saying hello. And Mud Rabbit saying hello as well. So yeah, that's what a true leader does. When you have the presence of mind to remember something that was brought up on the campaign trail and actually include that into actionable policy. I mean, and this isn't something that is gonna increase the GDP or create jobs or nothing like that. This is something like from the heart that most politicians wouldn't even try. That's the thing. Trump tried things no one ever even tried. And that's why he was so good at it. I mean, he wasn't afraid to try something new. Kind of like AMC used to be. They're always trying something new. Yeah. Like the Pacer, the Gremlin, all those. Four-wheel drive Eagles were ahead of their time, way before the Subaru Outback and all that stuff, right? Probably the inspiration for it, actually. You ever go to the craft department of whatever store, Hobby Lobby, or maybe even Walmart? Some bigger Walmarts have a pretty good area, and there's these popular metal letters that you can spell out things. It's kind of nice to see how people arrange these, and you might want to take a note. Oh, look, what does it say? We need Trump back. Oh, there's a clever display. How do you like that? The Pinto and the exploding tank. Yeah, that was a dangerous thing, for sure. There you go. We need Trump back. I think people do this. It's kind of like the stickers on the gas pumps. It just keeps happening. And it's so funny that the other side claims to be the majority when all this stuff is constantly happening, never letting up, just constant. And the fact that Trump gets thousands and thousands and thousands of people at his rallies and Biden gets like 12. Even when he crashes someplace that already has people, people leave. It's like, you don't want them whispering at us. We need Trump back. Yes, we do. And it's being screamed from every end cap of every craft store in America, or home decoration store, however you want to say that those things are. Yeah, home decor letters. There you go. Hobby Lobby. That's what it is. Hobby Lobby. There's one of those in Green Bay. Not around here. Got to go all the way to Green Bay. Oh, really? Twitter is largely run by anti-FIFA. Wow, that's interesting. Interdasting. Gotta love Hobby Lobby. Maybe there could be a store called Lobby with lobby furniture, just lobby stuff. Hey, let's make a lobby. It's a weird word, lobby. Let's not name him Bobby. Let's name him Lobby. Yeah, that'll make him spell his name out every time people meet him. Yep. Screen share. And what else do we have for you, friends? Gosh. You know, I think it's important to keep a sense of humor. I can't imagine not having a sense of humor. I know some people have this illusion that we grow up someday. Well, I don't know if I ever will, because 63 Earths can fit inside Uranus. One day I'll be mature enough to read this without laughing. Oh, you got to put the blinders on when you go in there, huh? Otherwise you might see something that looks tempting. Yeah. You know what? Sometimes I'll think, oh, I need to go to some store to get some certain thing. I'll think, wait a minute. Maybe I have something like that in that extra room in the basement that there's a bunch of junk in. Let me go check. I'll usually find it. Something I was ready to go buy. And there it was the whole time. So there you go. Someday, well, you know what? I don't think I'm ever going to be that mature. Sorry. Because if something's, maybe it's a guy thing. I don't know. Like that 7th grade guy humor, right? Something like that. Girls have that humor too. But there you go. Always looking for something to maybe cause a little chuckle so that my fellow truth questers can have a little chuckle, live a little longer. Hello, Yolanda. Welcome to the program. It's always nice, fun and games to tell jokes and do memes and whatnot. But also, I'd like to use this platform here as a public service to give a message about something important, something that people might not talk about because it's a kind of a touchy subject to talk about. But I think it's something that needs to be talked about. And that's something that motels have a problem with, I heard. And that is, well, let me just show you. Bed bugs. Oh no! Bed bugs! You don't want that. Oh my goodness. Those VWs all over under the covers like that. Oh my goodness. Whoa. There's Yvonda. And look who else is here, our good friend Mad Pogue. Welcome to the program, buddy. And Propagate This Light. Hello there. Welcome to the program, my friend. Oh. Hello, Kelly Q. Welcome to the show. All righty then. Yeah, those bed bugs, I tell you, they're really something else. I mean, they're very noticeable, I gotta say. When you have an infestation like that, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? My goodness. I tell you, that's the only kind of bed bugs I hope I ever have. Those kind. Yeah. Oh, all righty then. A lot of fun there. A lot of you probably knew that was probably a dad joke coming up the way I set that up. Gotta think of some way to make it seem something or other. All right, well, I guess this is a good time, friends, to make this announcement. I am going to be on another show tomorrow morning. So how do you like that? On Dark Outpost with David Zublik and Penny L.A. Shepherd. Yes, that's tomorrow at 9 a.m. Central Time. That's what I'm at here, to 10 a.m. So there you go. Elvis Impersonator and Truth Quest podcast. There you go. That picture on the left there is a pretty old picture, I gotta say. Oh, you thought that was Elvis? Well, I do Elvis shows. Somebody has to. Somebody has to. That was a picture of me back when I had that was actually the picture on my radio show on Blog Talk Radio from years ago. Okay, yeah, you haven't watched that? Yeah, David Zublik's been doing some good stuff for many years now, and Penny's a friend of mine on Facebook, and she's been through a lot, so her story is pretty amazing. Yeah, yeah, he did something really interesting. Like a few years ago, he was offering like printed material. Like he would send you these different reports on different subjects. Pretty interesting. I thought that was very interesting that he did that. Oh, am I able to post the link? Well, I don't have the link yet. She's going to send me the link in the morning. But I'm sure it's just look up Dark Outpost. I think it's on Rumble. Oh, there it is. Look at that. Mud Rabbit. You are just amazing. Oh, it's on YouTube too. Okay. High energy. There we go. Oh, Mud Rabbit is amazing. Mud Rabbit is amazing. So are all of our wonderful mods. Oh, she had red pill cracking up? I didn't know she was on Red Pill's show. I must have missed that one. Wonder how long ago that was. How long ago was that, Mad Pogue? That's interesting. That is very interesting. Oh, there it is. Look at, she found it already. Look at that. It's just Dark Outpost on Rumble. Yes. Well, I think we know what you meant. I would think we know what you meant, propagate. Oh, 6 to 8 months ago? I wonder how I missed that one. My gosh. I seem to, I think that I'm watching every single one of them. Maybe I missed a couple. That's a possibility. Yeah. High vibratory energy is awesome. And you know, that reminds me of when Corey Good was talking about the high vibratory food that was fed to him in the inner earth and how they grew it. They don't grow it. They don't grow their vegetables and fruits in dirt. They grow it in crushed rock and crystals, some kind of crystals. He's not sure what kind. And then running water, like rushing water constantly coming in. And so they get super high vibratory food that doesn't fill you up as much, but gives you tons of energy. So I'm wondering what kind of crystals that you would put in, what kind of rock that you would be best for growing food in. I don't know. I'd like to get him on again and find out more about the food that he ate down there. It was all vegetables and fruit. It's all they had down there. Muffingate never forgot. Oh, how could you forget that, right? Muffingate, that was pretty funny. Oh, you put quartz in some of your plants? How do they respond to that? I know that some kind of they can leach into the water. I mean, they take minerals from to grow too, I guess. I was watching live when it happened too, Peggy Dancer. I'm pretty sure I was there too. Yeah, that was hilarious. And the guest just kept talking like there was nothing. He just looked over a little while and just started talking. Red Pill was long gone. So funny. Oh my goodness. 7 crystals to grow plants with. How did you find that? I've been looking for this stuff. My goodness. Wow, I have an avocado tree that I should do that with maybe. It's never had any fruit on it. So yeah. Yeah, Red Pill's fun to watch. So I'm looking forward to this tomorrow morning. I'll have to get up early. And then get over there to Dark Outpost. Got to get over to the airport, fly in there, land, get my motel, and get in there right there. No, actually, it's done via Zoom or something like that. I'm thinking. Yeah, I think it does need to be pollinated. I'm hoping the spiders will do the trick. Do you think? Maybe the spiders, because I do have spiders. I could train them. I could train the spiders to pollinate. They're pretty receptive to suggestions. Oh my goodness! Propagate this light Thank you so much for the super chat. Oh my goodness. Wow. Well, that's awesome, dude. I appreciate that. Wow. Thank you. Well, that's the problem there, Mud Rabbit. There is no other avocado tree in the area because they can't live outside here. It's an inside thing. It's an inside job. It's an inside job. All righty then. Oh, guess what, folks? You know, it just seems just a little while ago, Andrew DiBasciago was talking about how he really admires David Paulides, the 411 missing 411 guy, and with all the work that he's done. But he was like, but he never really poses a reason why they're missing. But guess what? There is a trailer out now. It's called Missing 411, the UFO Connection. You might have seen it. You might have seen it. And then I think something just came out today. Let's see if I can find it here. Not there. It's not there. Not there. Where did it go? Well, oh, there it is. So here is this is Missing 411, the UFO Connection, behind the scenes and the making of the documentary. It's a 26-minute video that you might want to watch. And it's also got links to the premiere, and the preview. And let me see if I can get that up here, the preview. Is that the preview? Maybe it doesn't have it. Oh my goodness. Oh. Oh yeah, this is the official trailer. Okay. Skip ad. Okay, so this is it. I think I can play this now. This is the official trailer for that movie. It's a documentary. It's called Missing 411, the UFO Connection. And now I should be able to go back over there and play it. Oh my goodness, Peggy Dancer. Thank you very much. Wow. Propagate the light. You guys are amazing. Thank you so very, very much. Whoa. I'm honored. Hello, Iowax. Ahoy there. Good to see you here. Alrighty then. All right, let's get that up here. Now that I got it rolling. Ready to roll, as they say. Is it going to show up this time? It's not showing up. Something is up because it's not showing up. I'll have to get rid of this. Maybe that will help. Is it showing up now? No. Wait, there it is. Here it is. Thank goodness. Here we go. This is, I hope this is fair use. Fair use. This is the trailer for the movie.
This is the location of a missing hunter.
So it looks like people are snatched off the ground, and then some of them are dropped back miles and miles away.
For thousands of years, the human species has looked to the skies in amazement at unidentified objects. We are staring at unconventional possibilities supported by witnesses, video, and most recently, our own government. I have investigated hundreds of cases that push the limits of standard everyday police protocol.
The three witnesses saw this object picking up the elk.
There was no cable, nothing discernible pulling the elk to the craft.
I know what happened to me. It happened in 1974. Next thing I know, I was in this cubicle.
In many stories, children are right there, and then the next second they're gone. After reading thousands of reports, I started to document what is called profile points. The number one profile point is lack of scent trail.
It was unusual that they had that many tracking dogs. I never found a track.
The more you hear, the stranger the story gets. Why send a SWAT team on a missing person case?
When I saw that, that's when I, went down on my knees.
They are connected to extra-dimensional beings. Those are real. How do you explain to a grieving family that something paranormal may be tied to the disappearance?
There we go. Isn't that fun? Wasn't that fun? So, and that link I put in the chat is the 26-minute behind the scenes making of the film. And it almost didn't happen. So it's a very interesting show to watch. So I highly recommend it. It's going to be a big one, I think. Yeah, tonight really is a super chat night. Wow. That's incredible. You guys are fantastic. And also, I have to also thank someone else who sent a donation into my PayPal. And that was Nina Sand G. I don't want to say her last name. Nina. Thank you very much, Nina. That was wonderful. Thank you so much. It looks like I'm going to be helping my son out at the farmer's market possibly this Saturday here in Sturgeon Bay. And with any kind of luck, we're going to have some of these babies. Look at this thing. This is one of those wooden cars, but it's made out of different types of wood, mahogany, padauk, and walnut. It's just an amazing, and also maple. So there you go. These ones are just all maple, but you can decorate them too. This is a pickup truck, and they flipsters. So there you go. Hopefully, with any kind of luck, we'll be there doing that. I was helping him paint up some big pumpkins. They're wooden, they're just flat, but they're kind of stylized pumpkins. Very cool. Very cool. And there she is again. I'm telling you, if being a mod was an Olympic event, Mud Rabbit would probably bring home the gold. Don't you think? Donations to keep the ship out of dry dock and the crew fed. Yeah. That would be wonderful. Feed the crew. Boy, that'd be fun. Send everybody some food. I would like to do that someday. But that's paypal.me/Aaron Moriarity 17, or Cash App. It's # Truth Quest with Aaron, AARON. There she is. Now, do you remember who won 7 gold medals in swimming back in the day? Many decades ago. Can you tell me who that was? Who remembers that little tidbit? Who got 7 swimming gold medals, or medals? Maybe they weren't all gold. I think they were. And then if we get a correct answer, I'll tell you something else. Yes. Oh, look who was first, though. Peggy Dancer, Cookie Miller, and Mud Rabbit. Yes, Mark Spitz. Here's a question for you, now that you remember that. How do they fill the Olympic pool? Give up? Mark Spitz. See, I had to set that up. You had to know who I was talking about. That's how old that joke is. Yes, that is a good old joke. Mark Spit in the pool. That is right. Mark Spitz. With water. Might have been 68, Mexico City. No, I think it was 70, in the 72. 72 sounds about right. I can't remember. I was just a little kid. Oh, you've never heard that? Oh, good. See, that's why we got to keep telling the old jokes, because still there's some people who haven't heard them. And you know, it's always, I always, whenever I'm in the bread aisle, like in the store or at a bakery, I'll ask them, so do you know why the baker makes the bread? And they'll say, no, why? Because he needs the dough. See, there's a baking joke. And now I think all bakers should know that joke. I think whatever profession that you have, you should know most of the jokes of that profession. And so, but you might, if you want to do that, you might not want to go into golf, because there's a lot of golf jokes you'd have to memorize. A lot. Tons. Certain things have more jokes about them than other things. You ever notice that? It's like joke bias, right? You get that joke bias going on. Sounds like Joan Bias's little brother, Joke Bias. There you go. Oh. You know, they keep saying electric cars are the way. And, you know, I used to like electric cars. I still kind of like the idea of them, but I don't like some of the things about them that I'm learning now, like this. Tesla burst into flames. Connecticut firefighters need 25,000 gallons of water to extinguish. That's a lot of water. They might want to think of something besides water. You know? Just put it in a gigantic asbestos Ziploc bag. Just stick it in there and close it. Forget about it. There you go. And you could like maybe launch it into the sun. But that might cause a reaction. We don't want to do that. Scrap that idea. Shoot it off into space. Yeah, with our luck, it'll hit an asteroid, and the asteroid will come and bounce off something and come and hit us. That'll be our luck. There you go. So why don't they make the cars out of stuff that doesn't burn? They should make houses out of stuff that doesn't burn too. Then you wouldn't have house fires. Right? That's one thing I can't understand. Hello, Dark Brain. Welcome to the program. You missed there was a little announcement earlier. I'm going to be on Dark Outpost tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Central with Penny L.A. Shepherd and David Zubelik. So make sure you mark that in your calendar. There you go. Water is really bad in a grease fire, yeah. Yeah, and a battery fire, I guess, is much the same, eh? Much the same. Much the same. I'm going to stick the number in here. And if you want to call in, feel free. Penny Shepherd. Penny L.A. Shepherd. Agent X11, I think she calls herself. Look at that. My co-host from the other night getting all kinds of accolades. You did a good job, buddy. Thanks again. I really appreciate that. Look at that thing just burning away. Man. Just dig a hole and then fill dirt on top of it. Wouldn't that put it out? Wouldn't that put it out? If you just dug a hole and stuck it underground? It can't burn if it doesn't have oxygen. Oh yeah. Yeah, Mud did post links, so just scroll up in the chat, you'll find the links. So there you go. Tesla. You know, the real Tesla, Nikola Tesla, I think 1930 or 31, he went to, I think, Pierce Arrow, car manufacturer. He took out the engine and he put in, I think, an 80 horsepower or 80, I don't know, something, electric motor. Then he went to like electronics store from back then, and he got like a little box full of different things that he arranged, and he had one antenna on the front or one side and another antenna on the other side, or the front and the back. And the antennas were slightly out of phase with each other, and they were receiving energy from the air, and they were making the car go. And the car went like 1,000 miles or something around the track with nothing but a car battery. There was nothing powering it except the power it got from the air from these two antennas that were spaced apart from each other, and they were somehow phased differently. That's the best I can remember it. So there you go. Yeah. Oh, looks like we got Propagate the Lights coming in. Let me get myself a drink of water. Hello, Mr.
Hey.
Light.
Hey, how are you doing? This is Propagate This Light here. Is there another person here?
Did I say the light again? Did I say the light?
It's all good.
Well, yeah. Well, I have a similar problem. People keep spelling my name Aaron. It's Aaron, but yeah, that's kind of weird. But anyway, so what's new with you, buddy?
Nothing pretty much happened in between the time we wow, my voice cracked. That was weird. Let me start that over. Nothing really happened in between the time we last spoke.
Okay.
Just the usual, just the usual hustle and bustle. Still been thinking thoughts out there, like open-minded thoughts is what I'm trying to say. Just always thinking that. So yeah, what about you?
I think much the same. After my friend called the other day, I don't know if you tuned in and heard my friend Johnny Burnett called in. He's Thinker on YouTube. And he's an incredible musician. And he did the music that a friend of mine wrote the lyrics for back in the 80s. And I played some of that on the last episode. And my friend Johnny is like a musical genius. He was working with Bree, the girl that she ended up leaving Johnny, and she went with Prince, and Prince produced her. She was one CD of his 3 CD release that one year. And I guess Johnny did like 4 songs with her. So that's kind of cool. And there's a surprise coming up too. It has to do with early Prince, and I'm very excited about it. So more information to come at a future date, possibly when Johnny comes on to talk about all this stuff, all this cool stuff.
Yeah, I noticed that you have very interesting interviews. I definitely appreciate your interviews with Andrew Bashago and just all your other. I haven't really got into the other ones yet because you have so many different episodes with Andrew. I've just been checking out, just like binge watching or binge listening to. I just listened to one today actually.
Oh yeah, well thanks, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's awesome that you do that. I mean, and my first guest was Corey Good. If you ever heard of him, he tells an very interesting story that I happen to believe it's about the secret space program. The way he tells it seems very realistic and very real, where you serve 20 years in a secret space program, and then if you choose to go home back to Earth, your age regressed, and then they time regress you back to moments after you left, and they blank slate your mind, so you live those 20 years over again. Hopefully not remembering your space duties, but he remembers his, at least from one of his. So that's pretty cool. Have you heard of him?
Yeah, I definitely have. Actually today, I went to my YouTube front page, and because I was been on your channel, I seen the video pop up with, excuse me, with Corey Good on it. Just haven't clicked it yet.
Oh yeah, well he was supposed to have a live today, but he was having some difficulty. We couldn't hear him, so he's gonna have to do a recording of it instead because he was having technical difficulties. So.
Okay, what do you mean by recording? It's going to be pre-recorded?
Yeah, I think he's going to record it because that's what he said at the end of the show. He tried and tried and tried. I was in the chat waiting like everybody else. And he was freezing a lot, and sometimes you could hear sound, sometimes you couldn't. And he just decided, he put a message in and said, I'm just going to end this and record it, do it on a pre-recorded because they're having issues. So they get it on tape, then they can, or not tape, but you know what I mean. So,
yeah, you took it back to the 70s with the tape.
Yeah, tape. Boy, I tell you. Yeah, I got pretty good at rewinding cassette tapes, and 8-track tapes were really. Now there was only a few people who could fix those, and if you got them just right, like the tape was hanging out the 8-track, if you yanked the right side just right, it would go right back up into it, and it would be fine. But those 8-tracks, I don't know if you've ever played one, but
The only time I've come in contact with an 8-track is when I was a little bit younger. I just had the 8-track in the house. It wasn't mine, of course. I was young, but I never knew how to work one. I they had them for the cars too, right? You could put them in the cars.
oh yeah. That was the first before cassettes. That was the first thing for a car. Of course, they had record players for cars back in the 30s, so you could drive your car and listen to the record back in the 30s and up to the 50s, and but the 8-track was weird because it only really had 4 music tracks, but there's 2 tracks per track, so it's stereo. So it's really a 4-track, and it looped around itself. It came out from the inside and looped around. I know the guy who invented it. He was from Mound, Minnesota, and it was a weird invention. I can't believe that it even worked. But the only problem was halfway through some of the songs, the song would stop, it would click, and then it would resume again in the middle of the song and finish it. That's the only bummer about it. Some of the songs would be interrupted momentarily. Yeah. So is there any new Mandela effects lurking around out there?
Well, you see, I'm more of just all around. When it comes to some of the esoteric topics, the Mandela Effect is pretty much one of them. I am an experiencer of what they call the Mandela Effect, or what I call it as well. I don't really like the name that much, and I've heard other people say that, because
Yeah.
because it's about more than just Mandela, but that's where it started from.
Right.
Nelson Mandela. So,
Right.
like some of my topics are out of body travel, and things like that. So I don't really, I would just say the Backstreet Boys would be the most recent one that I've just come across.
Okay.
And when I was online and I seen their name pop up, Backstreet Boys, I just thought to myself that, wait a minute, it used to be on the name.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not out there looking for changes or anything. It just occurred to me one day.
Okay.
So
I got
yeah.
you. I got
Mhm.
you. Yeah, that's kind of what I do too. I don't really focus on one thing too much, Yeah, UFOs, but sometimes I never even bring up a UFO on the show. So yeah, it's whatever it is. That's what it is.
Right. Right.
But
I see you kind of barely go towards that direction. Is that by choice? Are you an experiencer? Is that something you would like to talk about on your channel?
well, I did see a UFO, and it looked exactly like this. Well, it wasn't clear; it was silver. This is a clear model, but it looked just like this. Okay, and it was darting and stopping. It was about as long as my index finger at arm's length. So it was pretty big in the sky, and it was zipping and stopping, and it wasn't wobbling like a balloon would wobble, but this is what it looked like. It looked exactly like the sport model, and it was 1996 over Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin, broad daylight. And I got out of my car because I saw it out of my side window of my Fiero, and I saw it, and I thought, well, oh my gosh, a UFO. And I got out of my car, and I'm looking at the thing, and I'm going, just in amazement, looking at the thing, trying to figure out what it was. And then I thought, wait a minute, I got my handy cam. And I grabbed my handy cam, and I hit the power button with my thumb, and it powered up, and then it powered down, never took a charge after that. So, and then the craft zoomed off, but it still was a very impactful experience that changed my life forever.
So the model that you have there, Is that something that you made, or you just happened to find that somewhere and it was like the exact same as what you've seen?
Yeah, this is the Bob Lazar, and it's right here too. That's the box that came in. It's the S4 UFO revealed, the sport model, he called it. It's just what it looked like. It had portals like that. It wasn't spinning or anything. It was just, it was going, shoo, shoo, and it would stop. And so this was way before drones, the kind of drones they have now. And so, yeah, it just, and here's something that you're not supposed to see. And there it is. So it freaked me out. And I've been trying to figure out what the heck these things are ever since. So
Right. I mean, I don't blame you. You know, if you see something like that zipping across, and you know, like you mentioned the drones. Drones nowadays, like you're saying, drones nowadays can't even do that. You know.
yeah, and I got a certain feeling too. It was a ooky, spooky feeling, like it felt like I wasn't supposed to see it. I don't know. I can't. That's the best way I can explain it. It was just very weird, and it felt like it was giving out this vibe, like you're not supposed to see this. And I think that's probably why they didn't let me tape it.
Mm. So were there other people around you?
No, there was no one in the car, no one else even on the highway. It's a lonely stretch of highway right outside of Chippewa Falls. I think they did change the roads since back then a little bit, but it's still pretty much the same. In fact, I was thinking about going onto Google Maps and finding that pretty close to the right spot, and maybe see if I can get like a screen cap, and you know, maybe one's flying over there right now, or you know, who knows? I don't know, but or at least so I can get a picture of it, so I can like reconstruct it visually. You know, I did that in one of my early episodes. I'm going to let in our other friend here, Combat Carl. So we're going to add Combat Carl to the mix here. Hey, buddy.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Aaron.
How you doing?
And Mud Rabbit, Peggy Dancer, and Kelly Q. And welcome, Kuki Miller and Avonda. Hi, everybody. How's it going? Great to be here. Thanks for letting me join the show.
You're welcome. How's your
I
wife?
see our friend Propagate is.
How's your Fisher wife?
Oh, she's happy. She's back home from her vacation, and she's super excited because went to the military base and got her ID, so she officially has her military ID, and she's all excited about that.
Whoa!
So, I'm not used to calling in on my phone, so
okay.
Yeah, I'm kind of all over the place. So let me just try to straighten this thing out a little bit. But Propagate the Light was talking about. I know he's excited about the Mandela Effect, and you know me, I've done my research into understanding a little bit more about the Mandela Effect and what it is, how it applies to our world, and why everybody's experiencing what we're experiencing. Well, I can't. Let me see.
Everybody's saying hi to you.
Just give me a second. I'm gonna see if I can rotate. There we go. Because I can't really see the image a little bit. Our favorite Mud Rabbit. All right. Guess that's me lagging out just a little bit.
All right.
Yeah, I'm back.
You're nice and clear sounding this time, for sure.
Well, that's good. Oh, I do want to. I did pick up a souvenir while I was gone. Let's see where's the camera. Rotate it properly.
Oh, like President Trump coin.
Yes, this is the official military Trump coin. This is the commander in chief coin.
Okay.
Of course, I have to drop it.
Wow.
And the back side of it. Hold on, let me see where it says. Well, and this is the back side of it.
Okay. It's got the eagle.
And of course, I had to double check while I was there, and they have no anywhere on the Air Force base is there a picture of the commander in chief.
Mm.
Find that odd.
Yeah.
Not
Interesting.
really, but cool. It was cool to verify it. I went to 2 installations today, and there are no pictures of the commander in chief. Not one.
Well, that's
And I even questioned people about that if they had seen any pictures of the commander in chief, and they're like,
I
the
know
past
why.
couple of years, no.
I think I know why.
You might know.
I think I know why. It seems that these bases, they're always running short on dartboards. So they probably are using that for like the dartboard. That's what I think. Could be.
This lag is crazy. I might have to switch to my computer, but I don't want to.
All right. So
That's funny, by the way. The dart.
Thank you. Propagate this light. Have you met Combat Carl yet?
Well, no, it's not me. YouTube's lagging out because I got you up on my computer as well. Are you lagging out on your end, or is it my internet? Yeah, Aaron went out.
I'm hearing you fine. I'm seeing everything okay. Let me check. Give us a 5x5 if you can hear everybody. I think everybody can hear everybody. Propagate this light. How are you doing over there?
I'm doing fine.
Oh,
Thanks for asking.
you're welcome. Oh, looks like we just lost Combat. I think he's something with the intranet.
It seems like he's combating the connection availability there, huh?
Yeah. He tells a very interesting story. I think he was in Australia. They were building this bridge across this river, and he was like peeing in the river, and all of a sudden this thing came under it. It looked like a giant, like a dinosaur or something he was peeing on. So that's interesting story. Very strange.
Wow.
Kind of like a giant salamander looking thing.
Man, yeah, definitely has to come on and talk about that. I haven't heard that.
Oh, we're getting a 5x5. Looks like it's all coming through. Carl, it's your feed. Yeah, he's in the queue, but he's flashing. Oh, now he's back on. So now, do you have a new video up on your channel that you want to talk about?
Well, I was just posting earlier that I put the clip of, I think it was episode 241 that you did and I was on, and I just put that clip up on my channel recently. So if you was check that out. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. That's pretty cool. That's great. More exposure. All right. Looks like Carl's feed looks a little steadier now. Let's bring him in. Hey, there he is. He's back. He's looking steady now. Uh-oh. Now we can't hear him. This is why we all need to learn how to read lips, you know? We all need to learn how to read lips because this could happen. Sometimes this happens.
Or another fix.
Now, it wasn't an alligator, mud rabbit. It was some kind of smooth-skinned, black-skinned creature. Uh-oh, he's saying something, but you're not muted, but we can't hear you. We can't hear you. Can't hear you. It's his mic. That's what Mud Rabbit says. Cannot hear you. Oh, he bugged out. Well, he's having difficulties. That's all right. That's all right.
Well,
Let's see what else we have here for you. What else do you have to say?
Andrew Bashago was saying that you draw art. You draw art?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have anything you would like to show? Because I'm interested.
You're interested? Well, it's stuff that's behind me.
Oh, wow.
This is a children's book I'm working on right now. It's called The Awesome Possum. This is a game I invented called Tetragon 2. It's a non-violent game of strategic creation. First one to make 2 complete squares or tetragons wins. But once you do, the other player gets 1 more turn, and anything can happen. So it takes a minute to learn, a lifetime to master. It was featured at the Mensa Mind Games event. And over here, this is a book, Popple's Place. It's the second book in the Popple series that I did that were written by Judith C. Johnson, and I illustrated them. And yeah, here's Popple's Place right here. And let me show you. In Popple's bedroom, made in America, made in the USA, at Warzella here in Wisconsin. But here in Popple's bedroom, he's got some artwork on the wall. And let me see if I can do this here. Okay. My daughter did this. My son did this, Mummy. And the author's 2 kids did this one and the other one. And they get credit in the book for that. But yeah, it's a fun little book. Disney donated the paper for the book, and Jeff Foxworthy endorsed the books because they help the children's hospitals. And so that was really cool meeting him. It was kind of cool. Very cool. He's a super nice guy, Jeff Foxworthy. He didn't even know us. He met us twice, and he lent his name to us. Super nice guy.
That is awesomely great. I did see one of your streams where you had you were talking about the Awesome Possum book and you had it open and you were showing it. I do recall that.
Okay. Yeah, that's the book I'm working on. I'm actually working on 2 books, except I had the book all done in my other computer when it died on me. And so all those files are in there. I'm redoing it now. It's like the 3rd time I've redone the book. But I also have Awesome Possum Goes to School that I would like to finish. 2. It's just started. Of course, I lost that too. I got to redo that all too. So one of these days I'll have something to back my stuff up with. That would be nice. Getting tired of redoing everything. It's very frustrating.
Yeah, I do recall you talking about losing a lot of data, and someone in the chat mentioned an external hard drive, and you said something about that. I forgot what you said.
I want to get one. I do want to get one, but haven't gotten one yet. I need to get my new confuser, and I'm just trying to find something here, something else. Well, I know. Maybe I can find it on here. It looks like Carl's back. Let me get Carl back in here. He's back.
I only have these issues because I wanted to call in and share my day with you guys and say hi, and it happens.
Every time you damp mop, you get that waxy yellow buildup. Keeps happening.
Oh, that's awesome. All right, so what were you going to show us, brother?
Show us?
Yeah, you said you were getting ready to dig something out. And
oh yeah. I'm I'm looking for it now, actually.
All right.
Might not be on this computer. Confuser. Maybe I lost everything. I don't know. Hopefully someday maybe I can get that information off of there. People tell me it's possible. But I don't know. Why is this?
Well, earlier, Aaron, you asked, "Have I met Carl?" No, I haven't until now. So nice to meet you, Carl.
Nice to meet you. What's your name, or should I just call you Propagate the Light?
Yeah, you can call me for short. You can call me Prop if you like.
All right. Is that what you prefer?
Either or is fine with me.
Either or. So you're new at this. All right. My name's Carl. You can just call me Carl. Combat is just a nickname that I've gotten over the years. For those who don't know me, I'll give it a quick intro. Good Lord. I spent 6 years in the Marine Corps, 10 years in the Navy, been to 23 countries, 39 states. I've had every job you could possibly think of. I've had a top secret security clearance and secret security clearance for over 10 years while I was in. One of my jobs just happens to be in communications, specialized in HF, UHF, basically all broadband frequencies. And been a military police officer, hunted pirates over off the coast of Africa. I've peed on a dinosaur, been abducted by aliens. I've had all kinds of crazy experiences in my life. Finally retired and chilling at home, and I am a researcher right now. So I spend my time almost 20 hours a day at times researching, trying to figure out the fundamentals of our matrix that we live in, all the big questions that we're supposed to be looking for in life. And thanks to Nikola Tesla and Rodin, I can't remember his last name, Aaron Rodin?
Rodan.
R-O.
Godzilla and Rodan. That's probably what you're thinking about. No?
He introduced me to vortex mathematics.
Oh.
And yeah, you're a little off there, Aaron. It's okay. Anyway, so through Nikola Tesla, the Rodin coil, vortex mathematics, what's his name? I wrote it down earlier today. He deals with toroid stones. It's on the tip of my tongue and I can't say it. Anyway, so through them, I discovered the significance of the toroidal fields. And the toroidal field, I explained it like this. The toroidal field is what I discovered is like discovering sand is the fundamental ingredient in cement that holds everything together. All right, so the toroidal field is almost like the creators or whoever created this matrix fingerprint, because every single thing from the electron to the galaxy planets are all toroidal fields. Every energy field is a toroidal field. These toroidal fields, its basic fundamental characteristics are energy, frequency, and vibration. They create sound waves. These sound waves create magnetic waves. These magnetic waves create electricity or electromagnetic waves. And everything that's what our bodies are made out of. That's what stone is made out of. That's what our earth is made out of. Every chakra, every energy field is a toroidal field. That is the shape of it. And you have these, just think of taking 100 speakers, playing different frequencies, putting it in a small box, and then turning all the speakers on at once. And you have all these sound waves bouncing off of all of the walls, and eventually they will come to resonate to they will create a resonant frequency, and that resonant frequency will stabilize, and any particulates in the area will funnel into a design of whatever the the frequencies, the resonant frequency vibration is, and it'll create a pattern. We know these patterns as what are they called? Sacred geometry. Thank you. It'll create a sacred geometric shape. Some examples that you'll see is if you take a, I'm sure you've seen the videos where they take a piece of metal or ceramic and they'll set it on 2 speakers, and then they'll put some sand on it. They'll play a frequency, and the sand will shift and bounce and move to a geometric pattern, a sacred geometric pattern. And as they change the frequencies, the shape of the shape the sand takes changes. So I'm sorry, I was reading the chat. Anyway, side note. All right.
Yeah. So Carl thinks everything is a toroidal field. Yeah. I only find evidence when I flush the toilet. I find a lot of toroidal fields down there when it's flushing.
Right on the money. And they rotate clockwise in the northern hemisphere and counterclockwise in the southern hemisphere.
That's what I've heard. That's what I've heard.
Providing evidence that the Earth is a toroidal field.
So, but I think the burning question in everyone's mind is, so please describe that dinosaur you whizzed on.
Oh, Jesus.
And here's one of the pages from the Awesome Possum Propagate.
The dinosaur did not look like that at all.
No.
That looks like a baby possum.
That's an Awesome Possum. He always does his chores before he goes out to play. So he's a good kid.
So do you want to honestly answer that question about the dinosaur or not?
Yes. Yeah, I think that's a cool story. I really like that story.
All right. Long story short, it was in 1997. I was attached to Operation Tandem Thrust while I was in the Marine Corps. I was a young Marine at 19 years old. Got to go to Australia for the first time.
Awesome.
And that's an awesome picture.
Thank you. It's packaging art for concept I had.
And anyway, so our objective was to go to outback Queensland, Australia, with our bulldozers and forklifts and backhoes and graders and scrapers and compactors, and cut a road through raw mountainside. And anyway, that was our job. We were out there for a few months with 10, 15 days of liberty here and there while we were out there. But there's no civilization. We're out in the middle of nowhere. No civilians are allowed out there. No military's allowed out there. It's basically it's a large federal reserve. So, but it was a joint military task force. So you had the Guamanian army, the Australian army, the Polish army was there, the U.S. Marines, and then some corpsman medics. So U.S. Navy. Anyway, one of my jobs was to inspect this pre-built small little bridge that they had out there that had a little dirt road over it, and enlarge it so our heavy equipment and some of the tanks could get over it. And as I approached this waterway, there was a large tree that had fallen over and was leaning way out into the water. And it was about 3 foot off the surface of the water. So, and it went all the way out, across. It was almost like a bridge, but the tip of it went into the ground and into the water. So I walked out onto it, and I was looking at the banks, and I was looking around, and I was like, well, might as well take care of business while I'm here. Yeah. And I started going to the bathroom in the water, and I guess the vibrations that I created disturbed a very massive reptile. And this giant head, about 3.5 feet long and about 2.5 feet wide, just popped up out of the water. And I looked at this And every image I have ever seen of every animal that I've ever encountered in my entire life flashed through my eyes, boop, 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 through my mind's eye anyway, in a split second, trying to identify this creature that I'm looking at. And I couldn't do it. So I'm just kind of, what am I looking at? And its skin was almost perfectly smooth, except it had these microscopic divots in it, like in a golf ball, but extremely small. And I noticed that its head was dry, and it started moving a little closer to me. And a few minutes later, while I'm trying to figure out if it's a reptile, or I know it's a reptile, but a snake or a lizard, and I'm like, that is the weirdest looking snake I've ever seen. Of course, it's also the weirdest looking lizard I've ever seen. And then his body popped up, and his body was almost 4 feet wide, and his tail wasn't up yet. His tail was still under the water, but his body was almost 18 feet long. This thing was massive. This thing was the largest creature I've ever seen in my life. And what I noticed was, first, on its skull, it had no bony ridges. I grew up in Louisiana. I know what alligators and crocodiles look like. Very intimate. I've chased them, caught them, wrestled them. I know what they look like. And alligators are big boned. They have very bony ridges on their snout, on their nose, on their eyes. Snout and nose is the same thing. But anyway, on its eyelids right here, they're really bony. They protrude out. This creature had it had no bony ridges on its body. I mean, its eyes, it had mild ridges, and they stuck up just a little bit, but not enough to indicate it was a heavy boned animal. Anyway, I noticed that it was when its body came up out of the water, that literally most of its body was up out of the water. A few minutes later, its tail popped out, and its tail was, its tail popped out. 3/4 of the tail popped out, and it was just as long as the body. And there was still part of the tail submerged. And then all 4 legs popped up to the surface. And that just made my mind go, because alligators can't do that. Crocodiles can't do that. Snakes can't do that. I don't know of any reptilian creature that can be a submerged creature in water and completely float on its belly with all 4 legs out of the water. Well, while my mind is being blown at the characteristics of this creature, it is trying to figure out if I am an easy meal or too difficult to get to, because I'm 3 feet up off the tree is 3 feet up above the water, and then the tree's about another 1.5 feet, 2 feet in diameter, and then I'm standing on top of the tree. And while all this is going on, I'm still peeing. And
Well,
this sort of comes right
he won't eat you till you're done peeing, so just keep peeing.
Yeah. So he comes right up underneath the tree, right into the stream, and I'm like, well, might as well pee on him because he's might as well. Anyway, I made contact with a dinosaur. Anyway, after, I never figured out what it was. I did have my camera there on scene. The only problem was it was in the bulldozer. And I was there. I had another Marine with me there and a backhoe, but he was across the waterway, 150 yards away, almost at a yelling distance. And anyway, once I was done taking care of business, I hollered at him to get my camera. And as soon as I raised my voice, he submerged and never came back. But it turns out that it was called Megalonia, Greek for giant lizard.
Megalonia.
And but you can look up. Here's what's funny is all the pictures of Megalonia are of giant Komodo dragons, heavy, big, dense bones. There's only one illustration on Google Images that represents a creature that I saw, and it is a light green. It is a light green lizard, and it's you know, it's artist's conception with two cavemen, 2 or 3 cavemen with spears poking a stick at it. It closely represents, if you live in anywhere in the southeast United States, maybe even all the way up to Tennessee, Kentucky, and Virginia, we have these chameleon-like lizards that, as children, you can squeeze their jaw and they'll open their mouth, and you can pinch them on your ear or put them on your ear and they'll close their mouth and hold on tight, and they'll stay. And some kids wear them as earrings for a few minutes. They're fun. They're just about everywhere. But that is about the closest representation of what I saw. You know, not identical by any means, but the closest. Just imagine one of those the size of 2 buses sitting next to each other.
It always seemed like a salamander, like some kind of giant Dr. Moreau experiment on a giant salamander or something like that.
Yeah, wrong species.
Huh?
Salamander is the wrong species. Plus, salamander is big boned. You know, for its size, it's dense, it's heavy. This thing was super, super, super light. And I mean, it was able to flex its rib cage out to where it was, like I said, its stomach was resting on the surface of the water, all 4 legs above the surface of the water. The only thing that was submerged was the tip of its tail. I never saw how long his tail was. But you know, he had a 3-foot head, 18-foot body, and I saw at least 10 plus feet of tail. So, you know, we're talking 30 feet and length of creature that I saw.
Wow.
You know, but like I said, it wasn't, you know, when you think of dinosaur, you think of, you know, massive, dense bones and, you know, like megalodon, you know, just this, you know, you're a size of a grasshopper compared to that. It wasn't that big. You know, it was just the largest land creature I've ever seen in my life. Probably the largest land creature ever recorded. I mean, I've seen, you know, some of these crocodiles that they've seen that they popped up that are close to 20 feet, freaking huge, but the bones are so heavy and so dense, and these things weigh almost 1,000 pounds. The lizard that I saw, he probably didn't weigh 100 pounds. As big as he was, I don't think he weighed 100 pounds. He was, like I said, you know, he was able to distribute his body. He flexed his body and distribute it to where his weight was floating on the surface of the water. With his skin the way it was, I can see, you know, it easily repelled the water. So I think that helped it. But it didn't look dense enough to be more than 100 pounds. I mean, really, I mean, I don't know. I don't, maybe 200 pounds at the most. I mean,
Interesting.
it's been over 20 years. So, you know, I can see it in my mind. I know what it looks like, but you know, those kind of characteristics, how much it weighs, it's all guesswork because he was floating on the surface of the water. And in my mind, you can't be, you know, something denser than the surface that you're standing on. You know, you can't.
Anyone under?
Put it on toilet paper; it just falls right through.
Then he went under too, so you can go up. Go under.
Yes, and he went under, and like he went under quick. It's like he just sucked in his rib cage and deflated and went right under the water, disappeared. And the water wasn't deep; it was probably only 4 foot deep. Oh no, it was deeper than that. It was almost 6 feet deep. So you know, it was deep because I took the dozer head into it, and I got a face full of water. So you know, it was almost 6 feet deep.
So did you ever see like a duck-billed platypus while you were there?
We got to chase emus with our Humvees through fields. That was fun. We accidentally ran over about 100 kangaroos.
Oh my!
There are so many kangaroos out there. It was insane. And the kangaroos out there look nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing like what you see in the zoos. These things are 6'7", 6'8". Look like built. They make Mike Tyson look like he's a toddler.
Yeah, they're very muscular.
Extremely muscular. The males, the big males, big alphas. Oh, they are just so impressive. I mean, when they show up, it's just like, dude, carry on. You've been bodybuilding way too long. Go ahead. You could just carry on. Now, the females, I mean, they're smaller in stature and, you know, not as muscled up, but they're still extremely strong. I wouldn't want to be caught in the wild and be harassed by them, because they're tall, they're extremely powerful, very fast. You know, they may look cute and cuddly, but they will. We had one Aboriginal get killed by a kangaroo while we were out there.
Oh my goodness.
So, yeah, and they just, you know, I don't know what he did to tick it off, but it grabbed a hold of him with its little hands in his shirt, and then leaned back up on his tail and used his giant feet and ripped his entire chest and everything to the floor. It's not
good.
From what I heard, it was not pretty. So
no, it doesn't sound good at all. Oh my.
But I could say this: everything in Australia is larger, faster, and more aggressive than anything here in the United States.
As far as predators and
bugs,
bugs,
insects, man. The black widow cousin of, you know, Australia has a cousin to the black widow, and its leg span was about like this, like a large wolf spider here in America, except the hourglass is on the back of the abdomen instead of the belly. And I had my hand on a pine tree and picked the bark, and it was hiding underneath that particular piece of bark that I picked, and he fit inside of my hand that was opened up like that. So, you know, they're large. Ant mounds, acres. Each ant mound we came across was at least an acre each. You know, it was, as far as you can see, was a massive ant mound.
Wow. They could devour a person. That many of them, my goodness.
Well, we tossed lizards. You know, we disturbed one hole and realized that we were getting surrounded, so we distracted the ants with lizards and then got out of there.
Wow.
The termites infect the trees. Every tree you see has these giant growths on them. They're really massive, and some of the growths you know, encompass multiple trees. Australia is, I mean, Queensland, outback Queensland, Australia is one of the most exotic places I've ever been, and I absolutely love the people over there. The wildlife is amazing. I looked for koalas the entire time I was there, and when I left, they said, "Dude, you're not going to see a koala. They don't move, and they're normally way up in the top of a tree." So you can look at a tree all day long, and you can look right at one, and unless he moves, you're not going to see him.
Wow. Now, you said that you distract the ants with lizards. Now, you can also do that at family reunions too. You can distract the ants with lizards.
With lizards, absolutely. Just throw one on their hair and watch them run away.
That's right.
I like that. Great.
And Prop, this is some of that mirror art that I do with nebulas. So that's why I put that up there.
Okay.
Oh, while I got him on, I wanted to talk about the Mandela Effect and why. Is that okay, Aaron?
Hey, and why?
Well, I didn't know if I was talking too much. Maybe you wanted more Q&A.
Well, you know,
change subjects.
I'd like to hear some from both of you guys. I mean, haven't heard much from Propagate thus far. So let's give him a shot at some information that he
I like. All right. So hold on. So question for you, Propagate. What do you think the Mandela Effect is, and why do you think everybody in the world is experiencing it?
What do I think the source of the Mandela Effect is, and why do everybody, or why is everybody experiencing it? I don't think that maybe everybody in the world is experiencing it, but they don't realize it.
Correct.
Right, because I've talked to people that I've known personally for a long time, and they just don't want to hear about it, so they're just pushing it away. Uh, I'm the crazy one or whatever, so they don't know anything about that. So they could be experiencing it but not know it. And why do I think it's happening? Maybe we are going in and out of different realities. Have you heard of Dolores Cannon talk about that?
Oh, Dolores Cannon's awesome. Yes, I know her very well.
Yeah, I'm kind of leaning on that, but I'm not exactly sure. I don't have the answer. I'm still trying to figure it out.
Okay. Well, that's a great start. That is a great start. I can't go into it. You have to talk more, but I will answer that question for you before we get off, hopefully.
Propagate. You there still?
Okay, I
He's
missed that last part. I'm sorry.
that's
Somehow I missed.
um. Well, I think Carl's just itching to tell us all how toroidal fields are behind everything. And I think that he's getting that grin on his face, like, oh, here it comes. Here's my chance to see. Now, I personally, I think everybody has their own beliefs. I'm not convinced about everything is a toroidal field, but I think some things probably are. But that's my personal opinion, and I think I've mentioned that before. But
And which is why I don't really bring it up that often on your show.
Right.
I don't want to push a topic you're uncomfortable or unfamiliar with too much on you. So, it's asking permission to go off on a tangent.
No flat Earth either. We don't do.
I don't.
Homie,
I'm
don't
a
do that.
guy. The Earth is a toroidal field. Toroidal field's around, hollow in the center, got a nice big bright sun in the middle. Vortex on top, vortex on the bottom, rotating, counter rotating, opposite directions. So no flat, nothing flat. The only thing flat is the equator.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you, Aaron, for giving me permission to go on a quick tangent. All right. So my understanding of our matrix is everything is based on sound waves. Okay. Toroidal field creates sound waves, magnetic waves, electromagnetic waves. Okay. Everything in our universe is energy, frequency, and vibration. The only thing that has those three fundamental properties in our known universe is sound. And if everything is sound waves and based on sound waves, then our matrix and our dimensions are specific sets of frequencies. So the dimension that we currently live in has a specific resonant frequency. All right. And at our Earth's resonant frequency is what's the Schumann resonance? 7.84?
Something like that.
It used to be 7.3. I think it bounced up to 7.84. Anyway, and it's slowly increasing. And I just recently learned that we as humans cannot survive unless we're constantly being bombarded with the Schumann resonance, the resonant frequency of the Earth. Excuse me. So the dimension that we currently inhabit today is 7.84. Okay, that is we'll just call it the mean frequency of this dimension. When you were born, you were not born in the dimension we are in today. We as cosmic entities are constantly bouncing from dimension to dimension to dimension to dimension. Each time we change our own personal resonant frequency through soul challenges or, personal life challenges and personal choices through life, whether we pass or fail these cosmic soul challenges, we change dimensions to fit into whatever resonant frequency we encounter. Now, for the most part, I believe everything's been stable gradual, most people, I would assume, only experience these major soul challenges or shifting dimensions once a decade or once every 5 years. Well, because of the Great Awakening, it has created a shift, and this shift is causing everybody across the globe throughout time to increase their resonant frequency. So there's a large portion of us who come from dimensions that were similar, but in that dimension, Mandela died in prison, and we all moved to this dimension to where he didn't die in prison. He became king and died of old age. And all these differences that we all experience. See, not everybody experiences the same Mandela effect because they come from different timelines and different dimensions, where in each timeline and in each dimension, everything just a little bit different. It's one of those things. Have you ever put your keys or your wallet or something that was important to you, that you had a significant emotional attachment to, in a specific place where no one else could get to it? And when you needed it, you went back to pick it up and it was gone. And you couldn't find it until, days, hours, days, weeks later, and you find it in some bizarre place that you never would have put it there. Has that ever happened to you? Propagate?
I was sitting here thinking if it has. I can't recollect right now, but it's interesting.
You never heard of the missing sock theory? Everybody's always missing one sock.
Yes, I definitely heard about that. Yeah.
So everybody's missing
yeah,
a
that, right. That has happened to me before.
So how this plays out is that the version of you that is on a specific resonating frequency, a specific dimension, or you're on dimension A, you make an incredible decision, a selfless act, something, and you increase your resonant frequency, and you are blessed with a shift in dimensions, and you go from dimension A to dimension B. And something happens to the guy that was in dimension B. He either goes back or he goes forward. But now you are inhabiting dimension B version of you, and the other version of you is gone. He's in a different dimension. He didn't have the same emotional impact and experience with that item that was important to you, or that particular sock. So he took it with him or put it in a different place. Basically, he put it in a different place in this dimension. And anyway, so the Mandela effect, I get sidetracked to trying to explain some of this stuff. But anyway, so what's happening is, because of the Great Awakening, these dimensions are shifting. And I think they either could be collapsing in on each other, becoming okay. So in a band of frequencies, you have all these frequencies going all over the place. Remember how I said if you put all these speakers playing different frequencies inside of a box, after a period of time, they will come to resonance. They will all start resonating at a specific frequency. And in the entire box was. Well, that's kind of like all these dimensions. They're on different frequencies. At this time in our existence, these frequencies are I guess starting to resonate. And different versions of us from different timelines are all ending up on this dimension, or these dimensions that are fairly close to this particular frequency that we're experiencing. And we may shift to another one, and even more people may join us there. So half the people on the planet are asleep, that are originally from this dimension, that have no clue of what's going on. The other massive part of the population of the planet are from different dimensions. Does that make any sense to you?
Yeah, it does. So the Earth, the box is referring to Earth, right?
Right. each Earth has its own resonant frequency. Each universe has its own resonant frequency. So if this universe, you know, which is Earth, Sun, solar system, Milky Way galaxy, is vibrating, the entire solar system is vibrating at a, you know, 7.825693 blah 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 hertz. And then as we are, our souls have the ability to traverse these dimensions freely. Every time you dream, you're not creating some fantastical imagination, running wild, vivid experience just for you to have while you're sleeping. Your soul is actually experiencing these events that are actually taking place in real time in a different dimension.
Well, I have something to say about that.
Go for it.
Because especially when I was younger, I would have extremely vivid dreams. And they would start out with like a big title, and then like some music, and it would start off like a movie. At the end, all the written bys would go up, just like a movie. And when I focus in on the work, I'm serious. This really, really happened, Carl.
I said it was cool. I said that's cool. That's a very unique experience.
But when I focused in on like written by, or, you know, key grip, whoever it was my name. My name was there. It's like, so I don't believe that in those cases that I necessarily was going someplace else, because it truly was a construct, you know, created by my mind. I'm assuming.
Right.
It was incredible. I mean, these were incredible, detailed movies, and great movies.
But you are absolutely correct. Not every single daydream, or vision, or dream in particular while you're sleeping is a alterdimensional experience. Not all of them are. Some of them are your consciousness working through your daily stuff. But a lot of our more exotic dreams, where we're on different planets, or in a different house, or in a different car, and we're going through somebody else's personal life experience, and we encounter different people, and we're just like, some of you are familiar, but not all of you. I've never seen some of these people in my life. Those are real experiences. You know, some of them when you were flying are real experiences, or swimming, or dying. I have no idea. I have lost count how many times I have died in my dreams. I have been shot, stabbed, fallen off cliffs, eaten by creatures, torn apart, a lot of car accidents. I've lost count. I've lost count of how many times I've died in my dreams.
Wow.
You know, so in those dimensions, I no longer exist. This dimension, I'm still here. So rock and roll. Let's go.
Wow.
All right. So quick question then. So when the person passes away, where are they actually going? Are they repeating that process? Or are they just being reincarnated, or what? What do you think?
Well, yeah. Now I've been inflecting on this one for quite some time. There's nothing in written record, unwritten record, contemplation. Nobody knows where we go. We do know that we are immortal cosmic entities. Okay. Our consciousness inhabits these avatars and this matrix that we experience. When this avatar passes, I mean, but you got to understand your consciousness, your soul isn't inhabiting a single avatar. You are controlling unknown amount of avatars across every dimension, bits and pieces, each one experiencing its own timeline, its own time frame, its own personal engagements, its own personal quests. All right. So there's a version of you right now that is in ancient Rome. One's in ancient Egypt. One's in ancient wherever. One's in 2035. One's in 2027. And different planets on different planets throughout the cosmos, different Earths, different dimensions. It gets complicated. Is, supposedly, we created a contract when we entered this matrix. And this matrix was to give our souls experience so we can be better. What did I just say? Immortal cosmic entities. So we can make better choices once we, are no longer in this matrix that we're in. And you have to understand the God that we worship, the creator God, he is not the God that created this matrix. God, the creator God, created the guy or the entity that created this matrix. It's something I was thinking about earlier today. I don't know why I brought it up. I guess it's important for somebody. It's important to think about, when you pray, there are a lot of entities out there that vibrate just out of our frequency bandwidth. We can't hear them. We can't see them. We can't touch them. But they are right here, right next to us. Okay. They always are. They feed off of our energy. They're not all of them are beneficial. Some are quite malevolent. Some are very beneficial. Some of us try to keep us on the right path, help us make the right decisions. Others influence our consciousness, influence our minds, influence our thoughts, influence the people and animals and events that happen around us. So we experience emotions or whatever negative vibration that they need to feed off of. They will constantly put a tack on the floor so you'll step on it, or move a chair so your knee will hit it and take you from a good mood to a bad mood. Anyway, just to help everybody understand these frequencies a little bit different, I like to ask this question. What is faster, light or sound? Anyone can answer this question.
Let's say light. I'll go for light. No pun
Aaron,
intended.
do you agree?
Well, I by the way you're asking this question, I'm sure you're going to say sound. But that's just because I know you. So
Yes. Okay. All right. Now the reason is how do you measure light?
visual.
Propagate. How do you measure light? How is light measured?
It can't be measured.
It's frequency based, brother. A rainbow, you have different spectrums of the rainbow. Each spectrum is a frequency of light. Okay. Light is created by sound. So if light is created by sound, then therefore sound is faster than light.
Well,
So
light can be created by sound, but that doesn't mean that all light is created by sound.
If our matrix is based on sound waves, magnetic waves, and electromagnetic waves, then all energy is created by sound waves.
Oh, that's if though, right?
It's not real. Well, I mean, it's either, do you believe toroidal fields exist, or they either exist in it or they don't. If they do exist, and we can find representation of it in everything from an electron to a planet, the Earth is a great example of it. And the characteristics and functions of a toroidal field is that it pulses and it rotates. And as it pulses and as it rotates, it creates these waves of energy. And these waves of energy become sound waves carrying those same, it propagates those same characteristics of the toroidal field that created it, which is frequency and vibration.
You said propagates.
Yes.
There you go.
He's got the right name for it. And that's what, light is light is a projection of its source. Okay, focused at a a specific frequency. How light is created is that many scientists have put a bubble a tube of water and then blasted it with high and really low frequencies. I didn't really pay attention. Replaced by CGI. Please help. That's
All that light being created is putting people out of business. Look at that. CGI. It's replacing everybody.
But anyway, so once you understand that, well, if and when you come to realize that the matrix that we live in is created, the fundamentals, the foundation of everything. Like I said, the toroidal field is like sand. Okay, and sand. Okay, so if the matrix was made out of concrete, and sand encompasses 70-ish% of concrete, then that's what the toroidal field is. It is 70% of this matrix. It requires other maths and energies and I'm still working on the unknowns, and I've looked at a few other researchers who are putting pieces of the matrix together, and I'm finding it fascinating. Some of them are hard to follow, and finding direct correlations. But I can tell you this: any science that does not have the foundation of toroidal fields in its work is inaccurate. And that's so simple. You can look at any scientist on the map. If their work has the fundamentals of toroidal fields as basis of their theory and of their project, then it is more than likely accurate. If it excludes the toroidal field and all aspects of it, then it's gibberish and nonsense. And that goes with any aspect of this reality. Nature, this toroidal field, once you get the basic understanding of energy, frequency, and vibration, its basic characteristics, there's no way to escape it. Everywhere you look, there's a toroidal field. If you look at the weather, that's the fundamental characteristics of a toroidal field. Hell, if you want to be a weatherman, just learn about toroidal fields. You'll predict the weather better than any weatherman on the planet. All you have to do is calculate the rotation of the vortex that's spinning, and you'll know what direction the weather is going. And then, of course, you would need to figure out what other toroidal fields or other energy signatures that are interfering with that, like a hurricane, another toroidal field impacting. It's like what we're experiencing now. There's a massive hurricane going up to Japan that just hit Japan. The ramifications of it hitting so far north on our toroidal field of a planet is it's causing a flooding in California and a heat wave across the plains of the United States, all because of that hurricane. So, I mean, I love it. I think it's amazing, and I do like to talk about it. So, thank you, Aaron.
Yeah, yes, he sure does like to talk about that. You know what? We got about 2 minutes left, so propagate the light. Let's hear maybe some of the last words from you, and then we can say goodnight and see you all again on Friday, or actually tomorrow morning if you tune into Dark Outpost.
Oh, give him more than 2 minutes to respond. Come on, Aaron.
I'm trying to keep these shows 2 hours or less. This is what I'm trying to do.
All right, so we're hinging on the last couple of seconds. I'd like to thank everybody for having me, as always. Thank you for posting on my channel, and thank you, Aaron, for allowing me to share your streams on my channel. And Combat Carl, are you familiar with my content?
I subscribe to your channel, brother. I've been taking a look at it. Yes, sir.
Okay, for sure. Yeah, come on by more often, when we're live, and I'd love to see you in the chat, and maybe we could have a discussion too one of these days.
Sounds great, man.
That's great. That's great.
All right.
When do you go live, Propagate?
As of now is undetermined. I did have a set schedule before, but I'm not doing that series, the My Life and I series I was doing. So now I'm just in the middle of schedule. Matter of fact, I do have one scheduled for October the 13th.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're not sure of the time just yet, but look out for that.
Okay, good. Thanks for the heads up. And there's that coin. Well, thank you, Combat Carl, for stopping by and Propagate the Light and everyone in the chat. And I want to give a special thanks to Propagate the Light for the super chat, and Peggy Dancer and Nina Sand G for the PayPal. Thank you all very, very much. I hope you have an awesome, awesome night, and we'll see you again on Friday. Peace.
Good night, Monrad, LQ, Peggy Dancer, Dark Brain. Love you guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for allowing me to be on here, Aaron, your brother and family, and love you forever, man.
Love you too, buddy. Thanks, Propagate the Light. Appreciate you too, buddy.
All right. Peace in.
Peace in. Peace in.